Hello, everybody, and welcome to my second webinar today, The Power of the Inbox. If you were with me in the last hour or so, we talked about social media, and now we're going to talk about the companion to social media. The fact is that social media works so much better at driving business when you are driving them to your email list. Why? Because an email list is the next level of the relationship. As I said before, it's kind of like social media is you see each other at a party, but email marketing is like you're going out for lunch or coffee or something. So email marketing will definitely drive far more sales than social media ever will. So this is where we really get people to engage with us at the next level. So, again, welcome. My name is Lisa Smith, and I am founder of 7Touch Marketing. I'm also an authorized local expert with Constant Contact, and that means I get to teach their seminars and tell you how much I love the product. This seminar is not about the product, by the way. It is definitely educational, but in conjunction with Constant Contact. So about 2008, so about 8 years ago, I was just ending my 20-year career with Franklin Covey. I was a trainer for them, and I traveled all over the country, road warrior, and I trained over 40,000 people in my career. So when I retired from that job, I was marketing director for a manufacturing firm, and they were doing all the right kinds of marketing. They were doing trade shows and big expensive trade journal ads. They were doing lots of print material, beautiful catalog, great website with the store. Everything was great for 1995. But in 2008, they were behind the times, and it turns out that their advertising had really stopped working. They were in a stagnated place of growth right then. And the boss, after one of their big $10,000 trade shows, about a month later, the boss came storming out of the office and he goes, "Where are those business cards from that trade show? Who called on them? Where are they?" And somebody called from the back, "I think Jared called a few of them." And that was it. So I realized right then that we were ignoring our customers and prospects. So it's not that they ignored customers. When they called us, we were great, right? When we met them at trade shows, we were awesome. We never ignored a customer. But the way we did ignore them is, first of all, with prospects, of course, not having a consistent follow up, right? Secondly, with customers, the only time we reached out to them was when we wanted them to buy something. And in today's world of social media, that is not cool anymore. That is very self serving. Marketing is now not only about features and benefits sell the sizzle, not the steak, all of those marketing axioms. It is now about building relationships. It's about getting people involved and engaged with your company, building trust, and having that relationship that creates a more loyal customer who comes back again and again. That's what marketing is about today, and email marketing is the very best way to do that. So I taught myself how to use email marketing, and I did it on Constant Contact. Um, and so through the years, I have used a couple of other email marketing softwares also, because people would talk about this one or that one. So I would switch and use it for a little while. And then I always came back to Constant Contact. I felt it was the easiest, it was the most intuitive, it was the most robust. And most importantly, when using a new technology, their customer service is open really extended hours, 7 days a week. That was super valuable to me, that when I'm doing my email at 7:30 at night, I can still call a live person or chat with somebody live. That meant a lot to me. So anyway, I have been using Constant Contact then for 8 years, and then they rolled out a trainer program a couple of years ago, and I jumped right on that. I'm like, that's me, that's me. So here I am getting to teach Constant Contact stuff to you and being able to share also what I love about the product. So A couple of things about today's webinar. First of all, there is a question box and a chat box that you are welcome to use. I will not be taking questions during the webinar, so I encourage you to write your questions in while I'm talking. And then at the end, I will introduce you to my assistant, Kara, and she will moderate those questions so that we can hopefully get all of your questions answered. Also, I will share with you the slides and the recording of the webinar. As long as we have your email address, which we should have because you registered for this webinar, then I can send you both the slides and the recording. So some of the slides you will want to spend a little more time on, and I might whip through them anyway. Don't make your writing hand too sore trying to capture everything. Just know that it will come in your inbox. Also, the notes I do encourage you to take are the insights. Write down the things that you think, oh yeah, I should do that, or ooh, I got a great idea for how to serve my customers with this content. Write down the notes of things that you think about your business and applications and insights. So a little bit more about Constant Contact. It is known for its newsletters and email marketing software, but it's much more than that. They have a whole suite of products, and it includes Facebook offers and promotions and donations. So if you're a nonprofit or if you're a profit, you can post an offer or an invitation to donate on your Facebook page, and they can buy it right then, like Groupon. They can buy it right then and redeem it later. And this is a great way to raise capital really quickly. We love money instantly, right? And it's also a great way to bring some of your Facebook contacts into your business in a more involved way, make them customers. It also includes online surveys and it includes events and registrations. So when you registered for this webinar and saw the advertising, everything, that was all through Constant Contact. The landing page, the registration page, the confirmation, all that stuff, that was done through Constant Contact. So the coolest thing about having all of this stuff together in one place is that you get data that is across the board. And as far as I know, there's no other tool for small businesses that can do all of this. So if you wanted to look at a specific prospect and see how warm of a lead they are, you can go into them as a contact and look at the reports and see which emails they have opened, which articles they read, which offers they took advantage of, which events they attended, and what their answers were on your online survey. This is, like I said, there is no other place to get this kind of data in one place. So that's pretty darn cool. If you're not already a customer with Constant Contact, stay to the end and I have something to offer you. Okay, let's talk about small business marketing. It is three basic things: nurturing relationships, delivering on your promise, and getting measurable results. Now, I want to focus on the first one, nurturing relationships. You and I don't expect to have a relationship with Walmart, so they send us just promotional emails. Same thing with any big department store or any huge retailer. They just send us promotion. We don't expect to have relationships with them. But small business, the expectation is different. It's a more intimate experience. We love to know the business owner or the names of the people when we walk into the corner cafe. And so we can create that same feeling of community, even though we are not local, even if we are not local, through email marketing. So let's talk about first impressions, right? When someone first comes across your brand, you want to put your best foot forward. And so it's pretty obvious what we want things to look like. And it's kind of the same with your email. Do you want it to look like a droopy flower from 1999, or do you want it to look like something that is up to the moment? It's engaging, it's branded, it looks like you really know what you're doing. It establishes a huge amount of credibility for your business when you send out a professional looking email versus an email you sent through your Gmail account. What can it do for your business? A ton of stuff. It especially boosts repeat business. Once people do business with you, how are you engaging with them again and again? I hope you're not ignoring them. I hope you're not considering them, oh, as a credit card. They can do more for you than just be a one-time purchase, right? Email marketing can also create and increase awareness so that when they see your business again and again, you're top of mind, which is very valuable. So let's take a look at the agenda that we're going to cover in the next hour. First of all, why you would want to do email marketing, how to harness the power of email marketing, and that includes how to grow a healthy list, getting great content, creating a beautiful template, getting your emails opened, and tracking your results. And then we'll put it all together. So why would you want to do email marketing? Let's talk about cell phones for a minute. Everybody has a cell phone. In fact, a statistic is running around the internet that more people own a cell phone than own a toothbrush. I don't know how reliable that statistic is, but it's funny. So, what is the number one app on cell phones? It is email. That is the number one app that people use on their cell phone. And sometimes we use it so much we don't even think of it as an app, but in fact it is. So more than half of all emails are opened on a mobile device. So that's important to know as we are sending emails and creating the length and the visual and all that, which I'll talk about in a minute. So marketing in this world has changed so much. So marketing way back when in 2000, 2005 was to find lots of people, right? Go out and do all your marketing to get new people to see your business, interact with your business, then convert and keep. That's always the marketing funnel, right? We want to do that. However, this also represents the time and the money spent. So we spent all our time and money on finding new clients. And unless you were a one on one sales company, chances are that you spent the least amount of time on not only on converting, but the very least amount of time on keeping your customers once they buy. That is the old school. Now, what we're talking about is still finding. Do not misunderstand me. You have to have a pipeline of new leads coming in your business all the time. You need to create a system that brings in those leads all the time. However, I want you to think about, in terms of time and money, how are we investing in our prospects and in our existing customers? This is where the relationship building happens, right here. So that's where the email marketing and social media becomes so valuable, because in fact, engagement is the new word of mouth. When my 90-something-year-old parents, were in their buying years, their 20s, 30s, the back fence was where you got the word of mouth stuff, the barber shop, the church social, the neighborhood barbecue. Now that is social media, this and email. This is where we keep connections with people. And so when you're thinking about your social, I also want you to think about location-based services like Yelp and email marketing, because you're engaging with your customers in all of those different places. So why would you want to do email? Because everybody has email. That's why. It's the best place to get people's attention. It comes right to their inbox, which is perfect. They don't have to go to your Facebook page to get the message. 88% of people regularly check email on their smartphones. Oh, yes, I am one of those 88%. And that's even more than who go to social media. Interesting, huh? 91% of people check their email every day. Email gets delivered 90% of the time, 90 or more. When you use an email service provider like Constant Contact, it goes up to like 97%. Facebook posts reach a very small percentage of the people who like your page. And so it's not as reliable. Oh, I did that again. It's not as reliable as the email marketing. Also, email has 3 times the conversion rate as social media. Social media's conversion rate is pretty low, actually. And then this statistic of ROI has remained the same for the last 4 years. Every dollar spent on email marketing returns with $44.25 on average return on investment. That is crazy. So email marketing is one of the least expensive advertising methods that you can use. but it brings the highest return. If you do a direct mail campaign, which is still awesome, you don't have to abandon your direct mail, but a successful direct mail campaign, you expect a 1% return. That is success in direct mail, and it's much, much higher on email marketing. So when we do email marketing, repeat customers buy more and they buy again more often. Word of mouth marketing is better when you're using email. Consumers said themselves, they said, so they are 71% more likely to make a purchase based on social media and email marketing. 82% of B2C, business to consumer businesses, say loyal customers are the number one way they grow their business. Repeat business. An existing customer will spend 67% more than a new customer. So if you are ignoring your existing customers or only reaching out to them when you want them to buy something, then you are really hindering your business growth by focusing all of your time and attention on new customers. So I always get asked, why can't I just use my Gmail account for email marketing? There's lots of reasons why. One is that they don't like, they being the ISPs, the AOLs and MSNs and Googles of the world, they don't like emails with big distribution lists. And you are less, your deliverability rate goes down. Fewer of these people, some of these people will not get your email often if the ISPs know that you send a lot of emails with big distribution lists. And there is also a limit to the size of distribution list. So I've actually met people who send it out 7 times and they have to divide their list into 50 people each. So they do BCC for 50 and 50 and 50. You can't control the formatting. You can actually, when I first started email marketing, before I knew about Constant Contact and email service providers, I tried doing them like this, and I would add the fancy font, and I would change the colors and the sizes of fonts, and I would put links in, and then it would show up so badly in other people's inboxes. It wouldn't show up the way I had designed it. And that's when I learned that you have to use an email service provider for these things. And then there's no branding, potential for spam complaints, and especially important as a marketer, you cannot measure it. You cannot measure it. You don't know how many people opened it. You don't know if they read it or what part they read. You don't know whether they clicked on any of the links. It's completely, you're just flying blind when you're doing regular email for your marketing. So email marketing does this stuff so beautifully. It's just the opposite of all the other things that we talked about. Branded, gorgeous, engaging, nice, big, easy calls to action, images, all of that stuff, and you get all the data. So let's talk about how to grow your list first. That's another question I get all the time is, I don't have anyone on my list. Oh my gosh, that is never true. Okay? You always have people on your list. Your mother, your brother, your cousin, your next door neighbor. If that's what you start with, that's awesome. Just start sending. And especially when I started my business, by the way, I started with a list of 150 people that I thought would not spam me, would not mark me as spam. So I sent it to all our friends and family, anyone who I thought would just be interested to know that I had started a business. That was my list. 0 business contacts. So if you're starting there, just send to whoever you know well and who would support you in having a business. It's all about growing, about where you ask and how you ask people to join your list. And yes, you do need to ask people to join your list. So the number one thing about email marketing, people are afraid that they don't want to spam, right? Permission, permission, permission. You have to ask permission before you add them on your list. So notice when you registered for this webinar, there was likely a box that said, please, add me to your email list. And it was already checked and you could uncheck it if you wanted to. That's permission. Implied permission is, so there's express permission for people who you are not currently working with, and there's implied permission. Now, implied permission is actually if people attend your event or put their business card in your fishbowl, that's implied consent. But I always ask anyway or tell because it's nice. It's a nice gesture. Implied consent is if you are currently doing business with them. So you do not have to go through and ask all of your clients. And also, if you've done business with them maybe in the last year or less, you can go ahead and add them to your list, but not older than that because people are going to go, "What? Who's this? I don't remember you. Why are you sending me this? I didn't ask for it." Let them know what to expect. So when you sign up for my list, what you're going to get is an email twice a month. It's a 3-minute video. The email is called the 3-Minute Marketer. You'll get a 3-minute video on marketing tips for your small business. And you'll also get some notifications of when my next events are. For example, I have a webinar on February 9th that is about what you don't know about marketing in the online world. And so if you've signed up for my list, you will get the registration link in your email inbox in a week or so. You always include an opt-out on every email. That's built in. If you are using an email service provider, they take care of this. Post your privacy policy. By the way, I do not sell or share or lend my email list to anyone. And think about how often do they want to get your emails. Daily is just too much, right? There is also a law about this. It's called the CAN-SPAM Act. I'm not going to go through it now, but you can go through those details later when you get the slides in your inbox. So the question is, okay, I have to ask, where should I be asking? Well, online. Whenever you are presenting your company online, you need to provide a way for people to join your list. So whether it is on your website or somewhere else online, it's really important. So this is an example of a company that did their email sign up for our list invitation on their page, on their website page. It takes them to a subscribe page that tells them what they can expect. And then here's the welcome letter that they get instantly telling them, thanks for signing up, and here's what you can expect. He also offers a free thing. It's a free video course on whatever his expertise is. And so here's the link to that free video course right in that welcome email. That is called a lead magnet. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So places to join to get people to join your list. Online, websites, social media sites, right? Offline, text to join is a super popular and easy way for people to join your list. This works especially well on signage, on flyers, on posters, and at trade shows. So instead of people even having to, stop and talk to you, they may just want to get your information. And so they put in the words that you decide, and then Constant Contact gives you the number for them to text to. It takes about 30 seconds to set up, maybe less. And so they just type in that word. And yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, so there we go. Nice how-to there. Where else are you going to ask? You're going to ask everywhere you are in contact with a customer. So my company's name is 7 Touch Marketing, and that's because on average it takes 7 touches, 7 customer engagement points to turn them into a buyer. So where do we ask? Everywhere. Events, menus, printed materials, signage, speaking engagements, contracts, invoices. If you make a contract with your clientele, it is a part of the contract that they will be getting your emails. Do the ubiquitous fishbowl. Just ask people. There we go. Now we want to give them a reason, right? And this makes the ask so much easier, and that's called a lead magnet. A lead magnet is something digital that you give for free in exchange for their email address. So you have signed up for for something free on the web in the past, and you've given your email address in order to get it in your inbox, and that has also added you to their list. That's a list growth technique. So it could be around education, I would not recommend that that education be with your product because that implies a sale, and we are not selling with the lead magnet. We are not selling unless you are a restaurant or a discount retailer and you want to give them a coupon. But generally, the lead magnet is not a sales piece. It is something else, added value. So it could be a VIP preference or become a member of something, insider information, exclusive offers, ebooks, white papers, guides, video training, updates, and friends and family discount of some kind. Um, Again, if you're a retailer that does a lot of discounting. Otherwise, you're going to provide content that your customer cares about, that your prospect is interested in. The more focused your lead magnet is, the better the leads you get from it will be. If you give away a gift basket with wine and cheese, you're going to get any Joe off the street to sign up for your list who doesn't care about your business. You want to attract people who are really good prospects for your business. So then once we get them to sign up, how can we serve them with great content? That's the question, right? The number one reason why people unsubscribe, they report, is because the content doesn't relate. You know, and I know that they will say it's because I get too many emails. But what that really means is your email is not valuable. Among all the other emails that I get, yours has low value. So that's really why people unsubscribe. So you want to focus on being absolutely relevant. Who is your customer and what do they care about? Figuring out how much is enough is also really popular. And then you can turn questions into content, and you can also use images as content as well. So let's talk about each of those things. How do you write for your audience and not for yourself? Well, when you're writing for yourself, it means you're talking about your product, your expertise, your business, your features, your benefits, your clientele, your testimonials. This is all writing about you and for you. It's what you want to say. However, your audience is not at all interested in you. Sorry. They are interested in how what you have to offer can enrich their own lives. They are interested in themselves. So, as businesses, we have the opportunity to serve our clientele with what they need. And that's really why we're in business, right? We're in business to make money, but we're in business to serve. If we were in business only to make money, we would be Bernie Madoff. We would be doing scams and selling product that is worthless. That's when you make money, when you just are in business to make money. But you're in business to serve other people with your product or service, or with your nonprofit in the ways that you serve the community. So how can we serve them to the next level? By providing content that enriches their lives and relates to what they care about. So this company is advertising a camp for the dog, but it relates to what the customers really want. They want their dogs to be happy and smile. They're also not advertising their menu of products. They're just featuring one thing. How can we serve you? We can serve you by coming to our camp. Constant Contact and me as 7Touch Marketing. How can we serve you? By giving you a webinar of content for free. This is how we are serving you today. So 38% of people say they unsubscribe if an email is boring, and 32% will mark it as spam if it's irrelevant. They're like this. Sometimes they don't unsubscribe, they just mark spam because they can't find the unsubscribe button or because they don't remember subscribing. So make sure all of that is really clear. How much content do we want to provide? This is a great question. Less is more. That is so true. So I want you to think about yourself and your own habits in your inbox. How many times are you willing to scroll down to read the entire email? Now, I know it depends on how interesting the email is, right? But in general, are you willing to scroll 3, 4, 5 times to read the entire thing? I'm guessing not. The majority of people, and I've done this poll dozens and dozens of times in front of live groups, the majority of people are willing to scroll once, and that's it. So if you go on and on and on, First of all, you're thinking about yourself and what you want to say. You're not thinking about your reader. And secondly, they're not that patient. People don't read a lot online, especially from the inbox. They scan. They're scanning for what's relevant. So here's a couple of keys to help you. 20 lines of text or less will likely fit within the fold, above the fold before they have to scroll. Notice that these paragraphs are nice and short. So they actually are providing 3 articles, but only an introduction to each one, and you choose which one is valuable to you. So you can click on this link to go to the article about mountain biking, and then you get to see the whole article. And then what's cool is when they click this link, you also know how many of them and which people were interested in the mountain biking article as opposed to the food article. Super important. 3 pictures or less. You don't want to clutter up your emails and make it too hard to navigate very quickly. All right. So interestingly, there was a study done on how many clicks in the email actually performed the best. 1 click per email performed the best. So keep your number of clicks down. You can have more than 1 link in your email, but make sure it's all links back to the same thing. This method, however, of 3 different articles and being a curator for your readers also works well depending on your industry and the kind of information you're providing. How do you find out for yourself? You test it and see the measurement. Now, another thing that you can do for content is to turn those questions that a customer has into answers. So you may hear them ask, how do I ensure that my pipes don't burst in the winter? Or how do I deduct mileage to work and from work? And how do I pick the right wine? How do I get more people to show up at my events? Your articles then, or those questions rather, then become articles that help your customers. So you always want to look at those FAQs and find out what they are. So the question about pipes turns into a compelling article or email titled 5 ways to protect your pipes from freezing this winter. It's urgent, it's relevant, and I want to know right now. That's how you get an open on your emails. About mileage, answers to your top 3 mileage deduction questions about February or January, February. That's going to be super relevant, right? Red or white, 5 simple wine pairing tips. Questions look really good in a subject line. 10 ways to sell more tickets for your next event. Numbers work really well. Notice every single one of these had a number. 5 ways, top 3, 5 simple, 10 ways. It grabs people's attention. So crafting those subject lines is a kind of an art. So here's my tip, by the way, for crafting subject lines. When you're standing in line at the grocery store, read the headlines on those magazines. The professionals get paid beaucoup bucks on Madison Avenue to write those headlines on magazines so that people will buy them. Just turn that headline into something that applies to your business. And you can do that with these. 5 ways to protect your pipes from freezing this winter. 5 ways to keep people from unsubscribing to your newsletter. So go ahead and use those as patterns for the content that relates to you and your business and your clientele. Images are also content, so images are super, super important. The email, we think of emails as a text medium, but when it's marketing emails, it's really visual. It's a visual medium. People glance at it. They are not expecting to have to read 10-line paragraphs of 9-point font. So don't give them that. They won't read it. Make your images clickable. Keep your key action above the scroll line. So right here, the click here to view button, that's in the right place because I see it before I have to scroll. And again, limit those choices like we talked about. So now let's talk about the template. When you are designing your email, you want to make sure that it looks really good. It looks really professional. And Constant Contact and other email service providers have so many beautifully designed templates. There is no excuse for an ugly template anymore. So, for example, this company chose a template that had logo, a wide space for the headline, a they included an image of their website here. Oh, sorry, this is their email. This is their website. So they've made it look a lot like their website. They've got a big image here, and they've got some text here, and then the footing information here. That's basically what the template is. It gives you the design and the space, how many blocks and what kinds of stuff, and they're formatted. You can then customize it with your own images, your logo, of course, different fonts, different colors. You can do all kinds of customizing for that. The most important thing when choosing a template is to make sure that it is mobile friendly. So the mobile friendly templates are different than the old school templates that you can still choose in most email service providers, but it's not a best practice. Also, your brand needs to be consistent everywhere. So okay, so being consistent means that wherever they see your company, they recognize it. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to have the same picture everywhere, but it needs to have the colors and the logo and the font. It needs to look like it all fits together. It doesn't have to be perfectly matching, but it needs to look like it belongs together. Oh, let me talk about the mobile friendly template for a minute then. I thought I had a slide on it, but I guess not. As I said, it needs to be, no, I didn't say this. A mobile friendly template needs to be one column. So in the past, we've seen these right bars or left bars with the menu and something, something, something over here. And then the main content in the middle, or rather on the other side. What happens when you open that in your phone is you just see the image of the entire email. It doesn't adjust to be more readable on your phone. So you want a mobile friendly template that makes those adjustments automatically. And that means one column, and it has to be marked mobile friendly also. There are some one columns that are not mobile friendly. And so then always test it, preview it on your phone before you send it so that you know what it's going to look like. Let's talk about how to get those emails opened then. So we've designed it great. We've got a list. Now we want people to actually open the email. This has a lot to do with just the visual of it. But remember, when people are going through their inbox, most of them are going to have pictures not downloading automatically. So they won't see these images. They will see that there is an image there, but they won't see the image until they download it or open the email. Single column, fewer than 3 images, fewer than 20 lines of text, and no more than 3 to 5 links, and the action above the scroll line. Those are all things that we covered in the past. So when they get it in their inbox, there are 4 things that will influence whether they open it or not. The first one, interestingly, is who is it from? So when it's from admin@acmecorp.com, I am so not interested in what admin has to say to me, or info, or customer service, unless I'm actually looking for some customer support and expecting an email back from them. It's so generic. Why would I want to receive an email from admin? Rather, for a small business, choose someone who is the face of the company. It's probably the owner. It doesn't have to be. Maybe you've got a charismatic sales manager or some other person, the store manager that you want people to recognize, whatever it is, the consultants that go out and meet with your clients, but give it a face. Give your customer, your company, a face and a name. If your company has, you don't want to be the person on the email and you have some turnover, so you don't want to actually make it a specific name, then a real common one that's working now is hello. Hello@acmecorp.com. That's a much friendlier way to do a generic email address. Excuse me. I was going to sneeze. Huh. All right. So make sure your from line is also with your, let me talk about that one more thing. It's from your domain and not from Gmail. What does it tell me about your business when I get your email from yourbusinessname@gmail.com? It tells me you don't have a website, you don't know what you're doing this all on the cheap, you're probably new at it. All of those things are not likely to give me confidence in your business. So give me a professional email address with yourdomainname.com. A compelling subject, of course. We talked about those subject lines that help people to see if it's worth reading. The timing of your email when it's received also influences whether they open your email or not. So, when are my customers most likely to be at their computers doing email or at their computers if they have a pop up saying they got a new email? When are they most likely to be there where I need them to be to pick it up? Or when are they most likely to check their email on their phones? That is when you want to send the email. How do I know? I'll get into that. And then easy share options really helps as well. Okay, so I talked already about this from name and from email, recognizable across the board. So if I am Lisa at 7-touchmarketing.com in email, and I'm Lisa the speaker on LinkedIn, and I'm Lisa in Sisters on Instagram, and on Twitter I've got another name, then how are you ever going to find me, right? So across the board, imagine I can't get Lisa Smith at gmail.com. I can't get Lisa Smith on Facebook or Pinterest or anywhere. Just imagine that. So if you want to find me across the board, it's Lisa Smith 7Touch. And that's my identity, basically, so that people know which Lisa Smith I am. Subject lines. Looking at this group of people, if this were your email list, a full third of them will look at the subject line only to decide whether to open your email or not. So subject lines matter. The worst subject line in the world is newsletter, March newsletter. Oh, please don't do that. So bad. Another bad one is the name of your company. So what? If your company is sending me an email, that's what the from line is for. What are you offering me? What do you have to say that's worth my time and attention? And that also tells them your purpose and what they're going to get out of it. Also, the length of your subject line makes a big difference. Here's some guidelines: 30 to 40 characters max. Because you've got to, even no matter how long you write your subject line, that whole length isn't going to show up in somebody's inbox, especially if it's on their phone. 6 to 10 words works best. 4 to 7 has the greatest response. So that's really unclear, isn't it? Let's stick with 4 to 7. 4 to 7 words on your subject line has the greatest response. And the first, then there's also this pre-header text that sometimes shows up below the subject line. Make sure that you make that really pop as well, so that when they open it in their phone, they see what it's about. 51% of emails opened on mobile devices, so be sure and design for that. So when do you send your email, and how do you know when to send it? So if you say you're going to send it every other week, then please send it every other week. And coordinate that timing across your social media sites as well. So it may be that when you send out your email, you also want to post that your email is available on your social sites. Or maybe you want to stagger it a little bit in time or even on day. So instead of blasting every social media with your email all at once at the same hour, you're going to post it twice on Twitter that day, and you're going to post on LinkedIn at a different time. You're going to post on Facebook at a different time. You can use your analytics to figure those things out. And then, of course, if you have an urgent message, send it out when it's urgent. So what day and time is best? This is another question I get all the time. What is the best day and time to send my email? Well, it's when they're there, when they are in their inbox, or when they're getting notifications of their emails and so forth. So it's the day of the week and the time of day. And how you find that out is by testing. So here's some across the board generalities. This is Constant Contact's clientele across industry. Restaurants, generally the best time is Monday at 7 a.m. That really surprises me, honestly. I would think it would be like Thursday evening or Friday morning, Friday afternoon. So if you're a restaurant, you test it and see which performs better by looking at the analytics. Accountants and financial advisors, 6 a.m. I guess those guys get up early. Hotels, inns, B&Bs, Wednesday. That's when people are starting to think about what they're going to do on the weekend. Religious organizations, Thursday at noon. Arts and crafts, Friday at 5 a.m. Again, I would test that and see if 5 a.m. is really right. But Friday makes sense, right? So there's also the best days to send by industry. So it looks like most of the professional business kinds of businesses uh, get best results by sending on a Monday, and then other industries on other days. So you can look at that. But the biggest way to know is by testing with your own audience and your own message. So here's what you do. You split your list. You've got your general list of customers or prospects. You split it into list A and list B, and then you send the exact same email. Nothing changes except the day of the week that you send it. So you send it on Tuesday at 10 and you send it on Thursday at 10 and see which performs better. And I'll talk about those stats in a minute. And then once you figure out what day it is, and let's say you've tested Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Wednesday one, then you use the same two audiences, and on Wednesday you send it at two different times, 10 and 2, 10 1, 10 and 12, 10 1, 10 and 11, 11 1. So now you know your sweet spot. And so that's how you figure it out. It takes a few months, it takes a few sends, right? But it's awesome information. And then you know when you're most likely to get the best response. Now let's talk about those stats and tracking your results. When you pay attention to the reporting, the quality of your emails improves, and the results of your emails improves also. So there's some specific data that we're going to want to pay attention to. The first one is your open rate. The open rate is triggered by two things. It's an open if they double click and open your email in a new window. It's also an open if they download those pictures or enable the images. Those two things are opens. If they read your email in the preview pane, you don't have any data. There's no way to track it. You can find out if it was sent to them, but you cannot find out if they read it if they only do it in the preview pane. So open rate, keep in mind that people who are seeing your message are more than actually is reflected in the open rate. But because they didn't click on it anywhere or open it, there wasn't enough content there, or there was too much content there for them to need to engage. So you see, if you put your entire article in your email, they can read it in their preview pane. You never know. So you never want to include the entire article. You want to include part of an article with a link so that your click-through rate is trackable. So whenever someone clicks a link within the email, now you know what they're engaging with, who's engaging, you know which person read which article. It's pretty powerful to know which of my articles are more popular, which if I have the same link in 3 different places on the email, it will also tell me which place was most effective. Pretty cool, right? And it also tells you, did they like the content? If nobody clicked on that article, then that content was not relevant to them. Shares are also the megaphone of email. They indicate that it was so great, I wanted to share it with a friend of mine. You will find out who shared, but you will not find out who they shared it to. So because that person's not on your list or anything, you will not know who they shared it with. But knowing that that content is shareable, that is golden. That is really important. 2 more stats: opt-outs, that's unsubscribes. And this gives you an opportunity to learn why they unsubscribed. So you ask those questions, have a little mini survey at the very end when they unsubscribe, asking them why, right? I don't like to include the I'm getting too many emails option because that's a cop out. That's the polite way of saying what's really true. Your content isn't relevant. I didn't subscribe. I don't remember subscribing. I don't like it anymore. My life has changed. Okay. Bounce rate is how many of your email addresses didn't work. So there's lots of different reasons why bounce. They could be the out on vacation auto reply. It could be that the mailbox is full. It could be that the address is undeliverable or that it's a bad address. Those two are the ones you want to get rid of to keep your list clean. The other two you want to keep. You want to keep the out of on vacation auto reply addresses, and you want to keep the email full addresses because at some point in time, they are going to come back, clean out their list, get back from vacation. So let's talk about putting it all together. As a small business, the advantage is that your customers love you. And they don't just love your products, they love you. They love doing business with you. A great example is there's a burrito restaurant in Massachusetts called Boloco. They have 5 or 6 restaurants in the Boston area, and they know their customers really well. They target their advertising to the young, college age, environmentally active and concerned, and physically active. They like to do sports like biking and kayaking and the rowing and all that stuff. What is that on the St. Charles River? What's that called? Anyway, so they know their customers so well that they provide content on their social media and on their emails. People subscribe to their email list. Now, if you thought you don't have anything to share, just think about a burrito restaurant. People love that restaurant because it feels like a community. They feel a sense of culture. It's friendly, it's fun, people connect from different restaurants on social media. There's all kinds of things they do super well and they help people feel like they're a community. So that is your advantage with a small business that it's really hard for a large business to do. 3 simple steps to get started on your email marketing. Get your contact list together, even if it's just your mother and your brothers and sisters. Go for it. Statistics show that once you send the first email, no matter who it's to, you're more likely to keep it going. Getting started is the hardest part, right? Doing that first step. Then create and send one campaign, just one campaign, hit send and see what happens. Measure the results. And you know what? A fail is not a fail. A fail is now I know 3 things that don't work, right? That's what Edison said. Now I know how many 999,000 things that don't conduct electricity. So keep that in mind. Marketing is trial and error. Marketing is playing around to see what works. So back to the beginning. Small business marketing is nurturing relationships. I hope you can see now how email marketing can really do that. Delivering on your promise, sending what you promised to send when you promised to send it, and getting measurable results. Looking at your statistics after every email send. In fact, in Constant Contact, you can check a button and have them send you a 2-day early results report. So in my inbox, I get 2 days after I send an email, I get a report on my opens and clicks without even having to go into the analytics. So I get that basic report. That's really good feedback, instant feedback. So the cool thing about becoming a really good marketer is that Constant Contact gives you the tools all in one place. Emails, events, social promotions, online surveys, all of that stuff is in one place to make your job easier and to make your marketing more effective. So the offer I want to give you today, I know a lot of you are Constant Contact customers, but for those of you who are not yet, I want to give you a 60-day free trial. And that includes access to all of these, the 4 products in the suite, including donations and autoresponders and these 4 products. And the cool thing about Constant Contact is they will assign you a personal coach to walk you through how to get started. So once you sign up, you'll get a call from your coach within 24 hours. Now, Kara is going to post the link in the chat box if you want to sign up for the free trial. So go ahead and just click that link and it will take you to the sign up page. If you are already a Constant Contact customer and you're feeling bad because you didn't get a coach for 60 days, that's okay. when you call the customer support department, that's the same coaches. So you just wouldn't get the same person every time, but you can call them at any time and talk to them for as long as you need to learn how to use the product. They are super at just walking you through the steps and helping. When you have a weird problem with your email, they'll go in back to the back end of the HTML code and fix it. They're great. So that is what you get. So if you have the free trial right now, if you are a trialer and you're trying to decide whether to upgrade to a paid account, first of all, the paid accounts start at $20 a month. So if you just want the email and nothing else, $20 a month, depending on the number of contacts that you have. To do the entire suite, it starts at $45 a month, which really is absolutely nothing in marketing budget land. Any small business can do $45 a month. So, and think about what all you're getting. So, if you want to do that, sign up for your paid account. Through the end of January, you can get 30% off for the entire year. So, every month for 12 months, you will get 30% off of Constant Contact, whichever program you choose. If you are interested in that, put your email in the chat box, or you can send the chat just to me. You don't have to broadcast it to the whole audience. You can also, where's my cursor? You can also email it to me, and here's my email, 7touchmarketing.com. You feel free to email me and let me know that you want to take advantage of that offer. That is something that you won't find on the website. You have to go through me to get that offer. All righty, so let's talk about some questions. I'm going to unmute Kara so she can join in the conversation. And Kara, there you are. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello.
Yay, we can hear you too. Everybody, I want you to meet my assistant extraordinaire, Kara Roberts, and she's going to help me out with answering your questions.
Yeah, so you guys, you submitted some really great questions. I'm excited to hear Lisa answer a few of these. So the first one, Lisa, I have a gentleman asking, their customers are nationwide. Is there a way to control sending the send time according to time zones?
Yes, as far as I know, let's see, let me think. I send to 2 time zones, and I've never actually tried to change it per time zone. You know what? I'm going to have to look that up and find out. If you want to give me your email address, I will definitely answer that for sure for you. Um, it should be. If it's not, it's coming soon.
Okay. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold, guys. Bear with me. Um, so my second question here, is there a template in Constant Contact that can be used to reach all types of devices, desktop and mobile, without pixelating pictures or leaving some of the 20 lines of text below the fold? It's really important to their business to have sharp pictures.
Mhm.
So she says she'd prefer to have it work without having to send a bunch of test emails to herself.
Oh yeah.
So
So the pixelating pictures problem is based on the size of image that you import to the email. It's not a function of the template, it's a function of the size of the image and the quality of the image that you import. So if when you insert it in the email it pixelates, it's probably because it's either too small, it was a huge picture and you reduced it too small, or because it was a small picture and you enlarged it. So make sure it's a good size. You can import really pretty big pictures and reduce them to the size of an email and they still look pretty good, but occasionally the quality is not right. So that's a fix from your actual images. As far as what shows up above and below the fold, you cannot control whether let me think. If your call to action is just above the fold on the computer, then it's probably below the fold on the phone. And so the best way to control that is simply when you create the email to send yourself previews, send yourself tests, and open it in your phone and in your email, and then you'll know if you need to move that call to action up. but you can't like have it change position of your call to action other than what the mobile template will do to change it. Does that make sense?
I think so. We'll see if they send us another question. Okay, let's see. So can social media fans be linked to the email through a post somehow?
Can social media fans what?
Can social media fans be linked to the email through a post?
Can they be directed to the email from a post?
That's what I think that they're asking. And if not, I guess they'll send us another question for clarification. So if that's your question and we don't answer it, please send it again.
Oh, be linked to the email. Okay, I just
Yeah.
wasn't hearing right. I should have my earbud in the good ear. Anyway, so yes, they can be linked to the email through a post, and that would be a couple of things. So when you do that lead magnet, that becomes a post. It also can become an excellent Facebook ad to invite people to sign up to get your free thing, your lead magnet. That's a great way to get people to sign up from social media. You can also invite people, sign up for my newsletter to get hints and tips with a link. Personally, I never sign up for somebody's hints and tips. That just drives me crazy. But that's just me. So I like to give people a more robust reason to join than just sign up for my list, right? Um, so when you join my list, you're going to get in a couple of weeks. You're going to get it's not live right now. I just switched my lead magnet, so in a couple of weeks, you're going to get a 4 video series called "The 4 Secrets to Successful Email Marketing." In the meantime, you will also get a welcome email and my regular emails. But anyway, that is the very best way to do it on social media with a link and your downloadable lead magnet.
Okay, perfect. And then we have another question. How can videos be shown in the emails?
Oh, well, you can just link them to your Vimeo or your YouTube account. So at this time, you cannot actually embed the video in Constant Contact, but when you put in your YouTube URL, then it will give you the thumbnail in your email. And when people click on that or the link to watch the video, it takes them to your YouTube page.
Okay, fantastic. So we have someone wondering if you will be teaching a constant contact analytics webinar at any point in the near future.
I don't have any plans to, but that is a really good idea. Kara, let's put that on the list for webinars. We need a
Okay.
topic for March's webinar, so that would be an excellent one. Thanks for that suggestion.
Yes, and we will make sure that we send you the invite when we plan that.
Absolutely. If you signed up for my email list when you registered. If
Yeah.
you didn't, send us your email by chat to just to the organizers, and we'll make sure that happens.
Okay, perfect. And so this is a woman looking for clarification. She says, if I understood correctly, you said that you should not send free education as a lead magnet if you offer education. Can you
No,
clarify that?
actually, I'm sorry I gave that impression. If you give education as a product or service, you definitely want to give away your expertise. So give away some stuff that serves people. Like I'm going to give away that 4 video series of 4 secrets to successful email marketing. My business coach, Kim Flynn, she provides 5 hours of video training to her leads. She's just switched her company name and her business model. I don't know what the lead magnet is now, but she was giving away 5 hours of training because as a business coach, she's got a year's worth of content. She's got tons of content to share. So go ahead and share some of what you know. And that helps people to feel, oh my gosh, I need her help. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I need.
Okay, perfect. Um, let's see. So I have another question here about the pixelating pictures, but I think that it's really specific. So I'm gonna, if it's okay with you, I'm gonna refer them to your email,
That'd
and
be great.
I might have to research that a bit for them.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay, so sorry, I'm clicking through a few of these because it looks like a few of them are asking the same question.
Okay.
So here's another one. What are the parameters for content? Again, how much content should I have? Links, images, columns, etc. Can you run
Okay,
through that
so
again?
the recommendation is no more than 20 lines of text. And best practice is to have no more than 5 lines per paragraph. I don't want to read a big fat paragraph with a lot of close lines. 3 images. That's not including your logo at the top. That's different. And 20 lines of text, 3 images, and 1 link is always best. If you have more than 1 link in your email, it may be because you've curated 2 or 3 different articles. That's okay. And then you test with your list to see if that works. Which works better, 1 article or 3 articles? You can test that. Um, but generally, you want 1 call to action per email. You may have social buttons at the bottom. That's just a very subtle, soft call to action. But your main call to action: watch the video, read the article, maybe you do a campaign on like my page on Facebook. Click here to get your coupon. Buy this product now. Needs to be just 1 call to action per email. You can include more than 1 link to the more than 1 place where they can click that link. In other words.
Okay, perfect. And so here's another question. Can you create your own template code and upload it to Constant Contact?
Absolutely, you can. Yes. So when you're coding it, or your web guy is coding it, web guy or gal, um, make sure that it is a mobile optimized template. That's the most important thing. But yeah, you can have it custom designed.
Okay, perfect. So that is all of the questions that I have, other than the couple that we're going to refer to you for a little more research. So
Right.
I think that that's it.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being on the webinar. I have enjoyed my time with you. Keep in touch. I hope you will consider me a resource for you. Feel free to email me with your questions, check in with me on Facebook, whatever you need to do to get the support that you need. And don't forget to use that Constant Contact support line, because those guys are and gals are awesome. Have a great day.